Hello, hello. Welcome everybody to our SuperCard webinar today. We're super excited to have you. I see some people in the waiting room still, so I'm going to let everybody kind of filter in. But while you're waiting, one thing we wanted to point out to all of our lovely carriers joining today is that we announced this past week that we are hosting our first ever, and the industry's first ever, honestly, carrier focused conference. So we're hosting SuperCon in Orlando. It's going to be September 15th and 16th. We have it jam packed of sessions from both Vin and Dave, who are presenting for you today from our product team, the rest of our product managers, as well as tons of vendors, large shippers, and brokers. It's going to be really exciting and a really good time. So if you haven't already, after the webinar, of course, go to superdispatch.com/supercon and get your tickets. All right, next slide, Vin. And one thing that we did want to highlight before we kind of get to the good stuff on SuperCard is that the reason we created SuperCon is because of this community. There is nothing like the carrier community in auto transport. And just to highlight that, even just for today's event, over 220 carriers registered for this webinar alone, which is incredible and so exciting to have you all joining us today. So, like, you're technically in a very digital room with 220 of your peers. So that's exciting to have us all together today. We also, just launching on Tuesday SuperCard, already have over 215 SuperCard applicants. So there's already carriers who are getting that SuperCard and going to fuel stations and starting to see it in action. So we're excited to teach you more about that today and give you the opportunity to join them and start saving at the pump. And of all those people on the webinar today, what's really cool is that it's ranging from one driver all the way to 2,000 drivers per carrier per fleet. So that's really cool to have such a range of this community and have us join all together today. But with that, without further ado, I'm going to kick it off to our Chief Product Officer, Dave Mendelson, to start talking to us about SuperCard.
Great. Thanks so much, Casey. And again, awesome to see all of you here and appreciate you showing up and spending your time with us. Before we dig in, let's just kind of go through like what we're going to go talk about the next 45 minutes or so. First, we're going to talk about what the reality is, what's actually happening right now. We know there's a lot of volatility with the conflict in Iran, and we have some numbers that we've already shared and we can share here as well of what we're seeing with our data. And then we're going to really also talk about a quieter problem that's associated with that is that there's a lack of visibility of what that fuel is actually costing you. And we think SuperCard can really help you with that. The second part is we'll actually introduce SuperCard. Vin's going to walk you through what it is, how it helps you put money in your pocket. And then we'll actually even do a demo at the end of how it works so you can see it in action and really get an understanding of it. In between that, we're also planning to bring in a real carrier, Rafael. He should be showing up soon. He's just like you guys, like on the road all the time. So he's should show up when in a moment and join our call. But we'll talk to him about his actual experience using the card. And then finally, if you have any questions or anything like that, please feel free to drop it in the chat. At the end, we'll definitely go through all those questions. So let's just get into it. If you could go to the next slide, and that'd be great. Okay, so let's start with reality, because you guys are living it. It's hard and it's getting harder, and it's not one thing, it's all the things. So we know that insurance is rising 20 to 30% over the last 3 years. Driver wages are going up, and equipment maintenance costs are always a problem and rising. And the main part here that we're wanting to talk about is fuel, right? Fuel is up, and it's costs about 25% of your total costs. So that's why it's hard. There's so much going on. Sometimes, a larger fleet, it's a bit easier to absorb those fuel cost spikes. But when it's just, especially smaller folks, and a handful of trucks, every spike really does impact your bottom line. So the question isn't, if the costs are going up, but it's, what can you actually do about these things? And that's what we're here to really talk to you about, is how to help you with that. So if you go to the next slide, then and really the key word here that we're wanting you to focus on is controllable. There's not much you can do with negotiating insurance premiums, with like labor costs and stuff and driver pay. It's a tight market, so there's not a ton you can do there. But fuel is something that you can actually have some levers to pull. If you've follow along with us or are on any of our mailing lists, you probably saw a note from our CEO Matt about how diesel can run up from easily like 350 a gallon to up to 550 a gallon or higher very quickly. And that's what we've largely seen happening with this Iran conflict. Um, so even with so recent pullbacks, it's we still think it's several dollars higher a gallon. So um, it's a lever, but it's the hardest one to control, and that's it jumps the most quickly at times. So it can swallow up like 30-40% of revenue, and every cent per gallon matters when it's whether it's one truck or 50 trucks. There also is a problem with some folks with fraud and misuse. Obviously, a problem in general in the industry. People can be using skimming. They can use for personal expenses, other authorized fueling. So, if you don't have the control and visibility into how folks are actually using the cards that you're giving them or you're asking them to use for fueling up their car, you can actually lose money through those means as well. And then third, and then maybe the most overlooked one is no way to know like what fuel specific load actually costs. So without that trip level visibility, you genuinely can't tell, are you making money? Are you not making money? You're making guesses, and guessing is not a good thing. Like hope is not a strategy. Hoping to figure out is not a good way to go about it. So that's what we're here to talk about is to help you try remove that guessing and to actually understand what's going on with your business. So if you go to the next slide, Ben. So kind of we've been talking and hinting at the whole time here is this most underrated problem at all, right? Is this visibility, and that real-time visibility of to what you're actually spending on fuel, and how that money is leaving and going out the door. Um, it's not because anybody's doing anything wrong. It's because the tools just, haven't kept up with the reality of the businesses that you're trying to run. Um, Personal cards not don't aren't great. There's no way to like get visibility. There's no integration to the actual work you're doing into your to your TMS and to Super. Legacy fuel cards, they have limited acceptance. There's friction at the pump, all the things, right? They sit in a separate system from your business. It's a pain. And then cash, right? Cash is a pain. There's no records. If the reporting becomes a huge problem. So the common thread here, right, is that it's the damage shows up later, right? You're just trying to get your work done, and then later on you're dealing with all the consequences. And we think we can really help that, and we want to help you with that. So we're here to tell you more about that and how that we can help fix that problem. And with that, I'll hand it over to Vin, and he'll discuss a bit about SuperCard and eventually, like I said, give you a demo.
Yeah, and thank you, Dave. My name is Vin, and this was very exciting for me to work on SuperCard and remember the days of driving. I used to be a driver on the road, and at that time when I was driving, fuel cards were a difficult thing, more of a luxury thing to get. Um, so we want to talk to you about SuperCard, and it took me a while to figure out what's the best in the industry to work with different providers to see what the advantages and disadvantages before we partnered with one of them. And we did partner with a company, A2B. They're one of the largest fuel card providers, and it goes beyond fuel. It's not just fuel, and you will know more as we progress through the presentation. But on a very high level, this recent conflict and change in economy highlighted how important it is to control costs. As you know, like we have seen the cost of the loads went up a lot, and we recently released a report around it. All the like regular moving cars, everything has increased recently. And some of the highlights for this one specifically, with our partnership with A2B, it's backed by MasterCard, which means it's accepted at 30,000 plus fuel stations, 4,200 partner stations where you get automatic discounts on very high level, 45 cents on average, a discount up to $2. It has telematics built in, if the reporting, and Experian credit building. So all of that puts it together as a very comprehensive offering. So let's focus on the fuel side first, as you know, this is more around fuel discounts. So we have seen a discounts range, especially during this conflict. Like it has been a lot of the fill-ups. We have seen carriers saving over $100 per each fill-up, even $200. So here are some of the brands that are providing a deep discounts. Of course, the card can also be used at, stations like Love's, Flying J, but they're on a different network. Also, beyond big diesel, discounts, you can spend it on regular gas as well. So, like on unleaded gas, if you have also local, pickup trucks with the regular gas, you can also use the card on that. Something very cool is that additionally, when you're searching for fuel, we have a search along the route feature, which gives you additional discounts because it highlights the most optimal stops along the route. And it's not that you have to like get out of the exit and go, 5, 10 miles off your route to get that discount. It's actually trying to locate things the closest to the highway, if not on the highway. Uh, and you can see the discounts right away. So there's a little demonstration here on the right side that it's showing you to the route with the fill disc the deepest discounts. And you can see here that there's like $1.45 discount along the route, 68. Some of them are without discount. So you get to pick which one you can stop by. And this also gives you a smarter routing. And I wanted to highlight an example here that here this is a real transaction. And this fill up was one fill up of 170 gallons, 173 gallons. And carrier saved $218 by with just one fill up. So the discount was 218, the net amount was 780. So instead of paying $1,000, the carrier is paying $780. And this is real, like at the pump, you can tell it's the real savings here, and we're very excited to see that. And hopefully we can also hear from Rafael about it. So to give you a high level economics on it is that if you're doing 100,000 miles per truck at 6 miles per gallon, average of 42 cents a savings, you're doing about $7,000 a year. And if you have 5 trucks, it's 35,000. If you have 50 trucks, it's 350,000. It adds up really quick, especially if you're saving $200 or $100 per each pump, per each fill up, and that really adds up, and it um, gives you extra funds to spend on something else. Let me talk to you beyond just fuel discounts and why this partnership is very unique. First of all, this one is integrated within Super Dispatch, so you don't have to download another app for the fuel. You don't have to manage it in a separate place. It's all within Super Dispatch ecosystem, which makes it very interesting because moving forward, we will build features around it where you can see fuel discounts, fuel expenses built into your actual reports. We will have more advanced features coming up around it, and you will be able to figure out your expenses like per driver, per truck, things like that. So this gives you a unique offering for your drivers as well on the road. You can see um, the fuel map within the driver app. You don't have to download another separate app. Also, this unique A2B partnership, if you would go to A2B's website and sign up by yourself, you will have to pay $35 setup fee. You'll have to pay $6 a month for the card itself. And it's basically gives you a monthly, you have to pay every month. Plus, you have to pay for all these premium features, which come standard with Super Dispatch. So all the fees are waived because of this partnership. So you will have $0 to get started. You literally just apply. You get the card, you start using. As long as you pay everything on time, there's no fees at all. This makes it very unique because today, when you get a fuel card, it's very normal for fuel cards to charge transactional fees, especially if you're out of network. So when I used to drive, I knew that I had to only stop on specific pump, and I could not use the fuel card in another station. For example, if I was running out of gas and I had to stop at, you know, Quick Trip or some smaller, I don't know, like smaller gas station locally, I couldn't use it. I had to find a big one, and it was very hard. But this one, as an emergency, like if, you know, if there's even no discount, you can still use it because it's backed by MasterCard. So it gives you that flexibility. And then this partnership gives you also generous line of credit because it gets influenced by the super dispatch volume. And it's the more you move on super dispatch, the more you can access because it gives the credibility for the carrier, knowing that there's volume, then knowing that there's the real transaction happening on super dispatch. So A to B has more trust in this carrier and providing a generous line of credit. Another one, an instant access by virtual card. A lot of the fuel cards, when you apply, you have to wait for weeks for the card to arrive and start using. With this partnership, you would apply, and we had carriers who get the line of credit the same day, and they can start using the card the same day because you get the virtual card instantly. So here's some things, and I'll show in the demo more information that talks about these points. I know we have a lot of fleets on the call today, and for fleets, it's there's a lot of important features and fraud. Fraud is one of the big ones. Safety, security. For example, if you integrate your telematics, which is very easy, into this into our SuperCard, you can lock the card from unauthorized usage outside of that geolocation. It can also help you to prevent card skimming, fuel theft, because through telematics, if you know if it provides the fuel tank capacity, you would know that they're fueling at too much or beyond the fuel capacity. So all of those features really help, especially if you have big fleet, to control the spending and to know that if someone is not doing the right thing. And reporting is very comprehensive. You will know exactly how much is spent where, and it makes it very easy for you to do IFTA reporting, especially if you integrate your telematics, then it becomes very easy. So, and I can show you during the demo more around the card controls. So what we're offering today is that we have two types of cards. And one is a fleet credit card, another one is pre-funded card. And we know that not all carriers right away will have the ability to get the credit because it takes time to build the credit. So for that, we also have the pre-funded card. So let's talk about the credit offering first. Um, if you get the credit fleet card, which gives you basically a line of credit for a week, and it will give you, let's say, $2,000. So you get weekly line of credit. You don't have to do anything. You get the $2,000. You spend it during the week, and then at the end of the week, let's say from Monday to Sunday, you use it. It's due the following Monday, and no extra charge. So like 2,000, you owe 2,000. If you don't pay it on time, there's a late fee. But if you pay it on time, the $2,000 you keep using the following week. You get the average discounts, you get, full premium features with it, and then that comes with all fleet controls. We understand that not all carriers would qualify. Some carriers are brand new to the industry, and for that, pre-funded fuel card is also an option. That this helps you to get started. If you use 3, 4 months, and then you might qualify for the credit offering. But what's good about pre-funded fuel card is that you can instantly transfer, let's say $100 into the pre-funded card and spend that money instantly. You don't have to wait. There's no holds on your debit. Some solutions today they put like $300 hold on your debit card, which is a lot when you do a lot of fueling per day. And also the biggest thing is it builds your business credit. So both of these cards, they build your business credit, and over time you can qualify for the credit, and you get the same discounts for the pre-funded as well. So we will talk more about it in the demo, but I just wanted to give you the highlight of the difference between the two cards. So I think if you've been in Super Dispatch platform more than 3 months and moved a lot of loads, most likely you will get the credit. And then if you're a relatively new carrier, then it's good to start with pre-funded, but then within 3, 4 months, you would be able to switch to the credit. All right. I will, let's see. And then talking about the application, it would be pretty straightforward. The application has just ask very basic information, the EIN, and it would ask, I believe, Social Security of the owner just to verify it's a real person and things like that. It does not check a personal, it does not do hard check on any credit. It does not impact the credit score at all. It verifies the business, it verifies the person, and then based on your volume and things like that, it and your yeah, it gives you a line of credit, and it's all business credit. It is not it's not influencing your personal credit and things like that. So it gives it's very good if you are, it's very designed for car haulers, for fleets to be able to manage it. So unlike other applications, we have partnered with a company that processes it very fast. It doesn't take weeks, it doesn't take many, many days. We had cases when in the same day, within a few hours, the carrier applied, he got approved, and then he didn't have to wait for the physical card. He got a virtual card. So he just added to their Apple Pay, Google Pay, and start using at the pump. And it was within the same day. So it's very easy to get access to it and start using it and get the discounts and the benefits. Let's see, how are we doing on time? I think we're doing well. Uh, we got some questions coming in.
Yeah, we have a couple questions. One is, will you do a hard check on the credit for the fuel card?
Yeah, I talked about a little bit about it. No, there's no hard check on any credit. It doesn't impact on credit score at all. So uh, it's back. It's checking. It's just verifying the existence of business and verifying the existence of the person. Yeah.
And then another quick one, does it impact personal or business credit?
It is only looking at the business, and actually it also reports to the credit bureaus, which is really good. You building your business credit, and then in the future, this also will have the ability to offer you a line of credit where you can, for example, if you need money for your insurance, let's say there's a $4,000 bill, you can upload the bill and get a $4,000 line of funds advance, I would say, and then you can pay it back. So yeah, there is going to be a lot of cool things within SuperCard to be able to give you some funds.
Thanks. Raphael messaged me. He had something come up last minute on the road, so he might try to join at the end, but likely won't be able to. So if you want to go ahead and do the demo, we can start that.
Okay, sounds good. All right, let me then exit the screen really quick. So I'm gonna show, let me do the mobile experience first really quick. That way, then we can talk about the fleet. So here's the mobile app. I'm pretty sure everyone who uses Super Dispatch recognizes this. And let's see. Okay, it's working, testing, tapping. Okay. So, all right. If you look at the bottom in
Hey
the middle.
Vin. So
Mhm.
I want to just make sure people realize, like, so Vin is showing you his actual Super Dispatch app right now. This is all happening, or this is not a recording. Just want to make sure that's
Right,
clear.
absolutely. Yes, yes. This is in real time. This is an actual product. We launched it. Carriers are using it. It's in the mobile app, and we're gradually releasing it to select carriers. So this is a driver app that I have, and I currently have the admin role, which has also operations and accounting. So I have the full capability. So you can think if you're owner operator, like a one truck guy or a two with some roles, there is a fuel finder tab right in the middle. You would tap on it, and it opens you the SuperCard experience. And at the top, you see three subtabs. So the fuel finder, this is a map telling you, showing you the actual fuel prices around you. So I'm in Kansas City. This is what it's showing around me. And then the SuperCard section at the top, it will load my current account. And there's a more section that shows some more detail. So because I have the admin role, I have full capabilities on my mobile app, which means if I don't use the TMS, carrier TMS, I'm all managing everything within my mobile app. So I don't need to log into TMS. So let's start with the fuel finder. I can look around really quick wherever I am, just turn on my location services and search. So it's showing me that 7-Eleven has 385 price, it's 75 cents off. I can scroll up and show all these discounted stations. I can sort by price. So the cheapest one is 377, 381. It offers 56 cents off. I can do there's I can do regular gas or truck diesel. I can do discount stations or it shows all stations, which is, as you can see, super busy, and because it's accept MasterCard, it works on MasterCard. And then I can change the radius. So this is very convenient because as a driver, wherever you are, if you need the fuel right away, you can just do the search and it shows you up the best prices around you. One thing really cool is, as you can see, there's a along the route button around the search. So I can search the city. Let's say I want to look up the prices in Chicago. That's where I'm going. It shows the prices there. I can do the search along the route, which tells me current to Chicago, let's say. Let's see. Press the wrong thing. There we go. Let's do New York. I think we're hitting a snack here for a sec. All right, I'll come back to it. So the fuel stations, search this area. It's loading up the stations. Let me show you the SuperCard section. So as you can see here, it shows you the current period. So I have a line of credit for a week. This is a demo account. So I got $50. My limit, it will show 2,000, 3,000. I've seen 20,000. So this is a line of credit for the business. And then you would spend it during the week. So it's my billing period right now is till 22nd. And then it will tell me that what I owe during that period, and I can pay right away, or it just automatically takes from my debit account. So I need to connect my bank account so that it automatically pulls on the date due. Then it shows you, if you scroll down, it shows you the actual transactions. So as you can see here, I have real transactions. So I pumped at Casey's, I saved 15 cents. But next time, instead of say going to Casey's, I went to Love's. It's showing that zero point 0.2 miles away, which was across the street. I could have pumped there. I could have saved 40 cents. So, but this is all very small numbers because I pumped only for $30 for my regular car. But if you do it for $1,000, you can see how much, let's say it will tell you you missed $200 in savings. This is very cool because it gives you that an idea of how much you could save. Further down, it tells you the spend, so it has some reporting built in. You can see all transactions. It's very easy to manage everything and pay right away. And then a lot of carriers ask me around what happens if I hit my line of credit. Excuse me. You can pay your balance immediately with your debit card. So you can go, let's say 2000, you're at the limit. You can go make a payment now to free up the line of credit. So I can make instant payment of $1,000 through my debit card and it will instantly free up the $1,000 and I can start using it again. Another one is that you can request limit increase, and A2B is very good at reviewing it and giving you increase in the line of credit, especially if you use it for a couple months and if you already pumped a lot, have used the card a lot, they will definitely increase the line of credit. So I'm going to a section that's called More here. And you can see here it shows you the transactions, extra savings. So SuperCard is beyond fuel discounts. You can also use the 5% cashback on discount tire services. At Pep Boys, you can get some discount. At Truck Suite, uh, there's some Toll Pass, Rush Truck Center. So there's some additional offerings and more partners are joining. So there are going to be additional discounts beyond fuel there. I'm going back to card section. You can manage the cards. I'm going to go through the more of a fleet things in the TMS, but wanted to demonstrate here as an owner operator, it is very easy for you to manage it here without going an additional app. You can go to payment methods, add your bank account, add your other things and make it very easy. All right. Um, let's see. I see a question about the payment that's due weekly be set up to automatic draft via ACH. That's correct. That's exactly what it will do. In order to use this card, you have to tie your bank account first because it will automatically try to pull on the due date. So you don't have to think about it. And that's why it's giving you a line of credit so it knows like the payment is coming up on the following Monday. So it's all automatic. You don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to switch to a TMS demo really quick here. So what I showed you, I'm showing now the fleet uh, experience. So in here in the TMS, you can see on the left side, there's your regular tabs, and we have added SuperCard. So if you see this SuperCard, that means you can apply, you can use it. Most likely you've been pre-qualified already. If you see this, you have it. If you don't see it, that means we haven't turned the feature for you yet, as we're gradually doing it. So as a fleet, I can see some cool things. Again, there's a fuel map here. I can go and do like a search along the route. So it gives me the best fuel where I should pump along the route. So I don't have to think about it, search, what would be the cheapest. This is exactly what it's doing. It's just giving you the best on the route. Like for me, it would make sense to stop here because it's $1 off at 380. This is a pretty good price. Um, if as a fleet with 50 or so, trucks, there's a suspicious activity tab. It will be important for me to understand what's going on. What are some suspicious activities? Um, and the extra savings also showed here. But going back to fleet capabilities. So each card you can assign. So for example, there's a virtual card, there's physical card. Most likely you'll have physical cards, but you can also get virtual cards and assign to drivers. But for example, this physical card, I can take this card and I will assign my driver to it. And then I can make specific rules for this card and this driver, right? In order to do this, there's some cool things here is that you can create a new tag, meaning that a new rule. So I will say, let's say short haul. These, let's say if you're doing local pickups, in your yard, and you can say per transaction, I want to limit, $200. He shouldn't spend more than 200. Weekly, this truck cannot spend more than 1,000. You can put specific rules for this tag. And beyond fuel, you can say, okay, this can spend on car washes, on lumpers, insurance, truck scales. This is all controllable per card. So if you want to, let's say 10 local trucks, 20 over the, long haul, you can create two separate tags for local and another one for long haul. You will save it, but let me show you that there is a card unlock feature, which additional security. So if you turn it on, it will ask you every time before fueling to verify the card. And if you save it, see it creates a tag. So what I can do is I can go to cards. I will take the specific card. I will add a tag to it and I will assign it to the one that I just created, let's say short haul. I can assign multiple tags. So I know for this card, Um, for this card, it's for Vin Diesel. It has short haul tag, so I know this card is specific to this guy and that they have a limit of $100 per transaction. So it gives you this controls. And then if you do telematics, so in here you can do generate if the report and connect telematics provider, and you can connect any of your telematics providers. It's a one integration that covers all most of the telematics. And when you connect your telematics, it's really cool. It gives you a lot more in-depth information, and it makes it very easy for you to prepare your IFTA report. And then it gives you the extra security features of blocking it or preventing extra fueling, fuel theft, like unusual activity of if they have capacity of 200 gallons, but they pump 250 gallons. Well, where did the other 50 go? All of that is possible here. And additional, there's there's a lot more advanced features that haven't been built in yet, but there are we will build more of those in here. So it's very easy for you to get the statements. It's very easy for you to get the history of payments and then also to manage your payment methods. You can control as a fleet carrier. If you have a users, you probably have drivers like this where you have only driver user roles, right? You don't have this accounting or operations. So if they have only driver user role, they're gonna see in the driver app only the fuel map. They're not gonna see any of the controls um, related to management. So for example, you see this supercar and more section, that will not exist for those drivers. Those drivers will only see the map. That's it. Because that driver's job is to find the fuel station and fuel. They will not see the limits. They will not know anything around the money involving supercard. But if you want them to see other details, then you will add other roles like accounting or operations that will enable it. So you have control per driver of what they can see, which gives you flexibility.
Hey, Vin,
Hmm.
one question I've noticed that's come up a few times that I think you could answer is, there's obviously other discount cards and solutions out there. Can you just comment on how, SuperCard and our partnership with A to B, how that compares to other like potential programs they could get themselves in?
Yeah, this one is it's very unique because first of all, we're covering all the fees that like the partnership is waiving all the fees to get started. A lot of it with fuel cards, you have to pay something to get started, or you have to pay per transaction, or especially if you fueled outside of discount stations, there's a fee associated to it because like $1 or something because you swiped it in the wrong place because that brand had to cover the cost, stuff like that. They pass the cost to you. So this one makes that different. And then um, the prepaid, like building a business credit is very interesting because not all fuel cards allow you to do that. This one is it builds a business credit for you so that you have more ability to get emergency funds or cover your insurance or there's always costs. So uh, we are going to offer beyond that, beyond just a fuel card to run their
And one other
business.
one that's come up a couple times too, Vin, is there any minimums like usages or anything like that?
No, no, you might get the card, you might use it 1 week, be off for 2 months and come back. Like absolutely no fees. That's the beauty of it is that you are spending nothing on this card. Just pay it on time, use it, pay it on time, and that's it. You have to do nothing, no extra steps to get the discounts. I see a question asking, what do I need to apply discount? There's nothing to do. You just pump it. There's a total that shows it, and then they're gonna apply the discount and they're gonna give you the actual like the net price at the end. So it will show you that it's $1,000 when you're pumping. It will show you the total that it's 1,000, but then discount will be applied, but instead of 1,000, you will pay the 800. So the discount applied automatically. It takes a day to clear the transaction, and then it will show you the actual like the net amount, like right here. It
I
was.
can I've seen videos of Vin going with his son to the fuel stations to verify functionality. So we've tested this firsthand ourselves to make sure it all works.
Yeah.
We only
Yeah.
have 3 minutes left, Vin, so I want to make sure we get to as many questions in the chat as possible. We have some more coming in from Douglas, who's asking, how does the SuperPay discounts compare with the Fleet One card?
It's a good question. I'm not aware of every single card of how they work, honestly. I can speak to what ours does and a couple of the big ones. What I found the unique things about ours was that there was no fees. That's the big thing in partnership is that we partner with A to B to make sure carriers don't have to pay anything out of their pocket to get started. So the carrier who just fueled up for $1,000, he saved $200 and he paid nothing to do it. He just applied and he started using, and that's the benefit of it. That was something that we really wanted to make sure that the car haulers get the best deal. You're on the road, the diesel is expensive. Let us help figure out to get the discount. It's very, and one thing that we're doing that nobody else is doing, this fuel map is available before you apply. So when we turn on the SuperCard feature on the map in the mobile app, they can see the discounted prices before even applying for SuperCard. So we want to show the value that the actual discounts exist and this is what the price will be, so that you know even before you apply for SuperCard. We're very transparent around here's the value, like do you like it or not? And I'm pretty sure in the fuel card space, like this one would be one of the top ones because a lot of others they try to catch you on those fees and they try to put you in a very specific program which is very limited, especially on like per transaction fees and monthly fees.
Speaking of looking at the map, one question we have is how will the driver know if a station has tractor trailer accessibility?
That's a good question. I think the stations here shown, if you're doing truck diesel in filter, this is mostly applied like for truck stops. So you see the big brands, these are like along the highway, big truck stops. If you're doing, like a regular, then of course it's showing you mom and pop small shops. So those are you have to like zoom in and see if they have a lot bigger lot. But I'm pretty sure if you're doing a truck diesel, these are already big stations, big diesel stations. No.
And then I'll ask one more question because we're out of time, but just for everybody, just so they know, after this call, I will send everybody this recording as well as we'll answer all the questions we don't get to. So we promise your questions will get answered. It just might be coming in the email after our webinar is over. So last question before we let everyone go. Does the card allow for multiple transaction types beyond fuel? For example, discounts are given at a Rush Truck Center. The card can be swiped there to apply that discount.
Yeah, I've seen transactions back to back because some fuel stations have a cap on $1,000, let's say, per pump, and then you have to do additional because there's a limit of 1,000. Some of them, but I've seen them back to back, and I've seen the guys buy, like let's say do the wash separate transaction and then you fuel separate transaction. I don't know if that's the question, like having multiple transactions being done. So as long as you have a line of credit, you can, yeah, I think there's no limit on the swipes and in the same location. Like it will work as long as there's line of credit available.
Great. Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Ben. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, everyone, for joining today. So, like I mentioned, I'll email out a recording of this call so you have this information as well as answers to all the questions asked here in the Q&A. If for some reason you didn't get to ask your question or a question comes to you later, you can respond to any of those emails we've been sending to you about the webinar, or you can email us at hello@superdispatch.com and we will make sure your question gets answered. Like Vin is showing here, if you want to go ahead and get started and apply for SuperCard or just get some more information, you can go to our website at superdispatch.com/supercard. And hopefully you can get you through the application process and start saving that cash at the pump. Otherwise, we will see you at SuperCon in September. Make sure you save your spot so we can all hang out and learn and network with each other. Awesome. Well, thanks, Ben. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, everyone, for attending. Have a safe day on the road or wherever you're working from today. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Aaron.